Yes.
There's a
I think
I'm good. How about you?
Good. All right, let's see you.
You made it.
Go up there with your buddy.
Oh, hey, I might.
Yeah, sit next to him. You can cheat off of it.
right on your own paper.
I didn't know you were up here. Well, you talked about that class this morning.
Well, and that's why you're 10 minutes late.
Had the county business. Thank
How are you, sir?
Carl Fryman.
I'm doing good.
I know that you weren't waiting on me solely. No more than I know about this thing.
And confirmation. You did.
Guess I did read it. Did I misunderstand it? That's another story. Yes. Okay. Am I gonna need my glasses for this?
That'd be a question only you and your brain knows.
Yeah, Max. No, I said 14 days from the 14.
Rusty, we still got a few of those forms out yet.
Carry on.
You guys ready?
I think so.
I invite her out for
Okay, guys, I'd like to welcome you to your iPad training. You have two good instructors here with you. They had it for our ID department at the school, and we keep them very busy.
I'm surprised they let me leave today.
I'm very thankful they did let you out today. You have Dan Smith and Corey Brinson with you. I'm Rusty Lynn. I'm with the Corporate College, Arnold College. I help provide this kind of training to business industry located around the 5 county areas. I'll step out of the way and let Dan take over. Thank you.
It's good to see you guys this morning, and we've got a basic kind of a one-on-one or 101 class going on here, just basic operations of the iPad, and I think most of you probably have them out there with you today, but maybe you're real familiar with it. Maybe some of this is repetitive, but hopefully a few things here you can take away from the class and say you haven't seen it before. And if you have any questions, if I can't answer them today, what I'll do is I'll maybe get your email addresses or phone numbers, and I can return some answers back to you. But I think everyone's got an agenda. We're just going to start off basically navigating the iPad all the way from basically powering it on. I think everyone knows how to do that. But some of the external buttons on the device are located on the outside of the device around the perimeter. Basically, you have your power button, you have your volume button, your lock button, and you can get adapters and things like that for the iPad. Right here today, John's got us set up with an adapter to be able to apply a video connection out to your TVs here in your conference room or in your meeting room. And my goal is to keep this thing awake so I can keep the TVs up too. When you bring your iPad up, you've got the apps that come with the iPad on your main screen. You might most of the time it's located on just one screen. There is one added on here today, but the apps on the main screen are basically your camera, your messages, your clock, your calendar. One external button that I didn't talk about that's very important is your home button. And the home button is the small, if you can see it on here, your small square, round square button here on the front of the pad that takes you back to your screen where your main apps are located on your home screen. Moving from page to page, basically it's a swipe feature left and right. I think most of you probably are aware of this already. To create folders on this device, let's say you have a couple apps that you want to group together under one folder. You'll basically take, I'm pushing clock here right now. You can see on the screen where I'm clicking holding clock, I can move it around. I can drop clock inside of another box, inside of another app, and I'll let go. It opens up this folder view. Now inside the folder view you have the options of video and clock now at this point. If you don't want that setting, you simply take your clock and back out and drop it back on your home screen. The icons, when you want to rearrange them on the screen, they're going to wiggle. It's kind of a wiggle feature is what they call it. To stop it from doing that, you hit your home button. So after hitting the home button, you have the ability to move from page to page. So again, a folder, you click and hold an application, the icon, go on top of the icon and drop it. Wiggle stays on so you can take it and pull it back off and drop it out. Home button to lock the screen again where you can move from page to page. The next thing on the agenda is gestures. Gestures is basically hand swipes, finger swipes on the screen that can get you from one app to the other. Let's say you're looking in notes and you have some notes in here right now. I'll just add a note real quick. Test note. Done. Okay. I want to go back to the home screen, but I don't necessarily want to use the home button all the time. 5-finger swipe on the screen takes you back to home. Aha, look at that, there we go. 5-finger swipe out to in takes you back to home. Basically, that one of the many gestures you can do. Also, another gesture is using a 4-finger swipe up on the screen, orientated looking towards you. You can take a look at your multitask menu, your multitask bar at the bottom. So again, 4-finger swipe up. You can take a look at your multitask bar here, which is on the bottom of the screen. Each application that you open up and you leave running will be added to the multitask bar at the bottom of the screen. Now, kind of like your computers at your desks, if you open up a program and you leave the program run, you'll see the program at the bottom of the screen on the start bar. Until you X out of it or close that program, it's going to continue running. It's going to continue using resources on your hardware. So the more apps you leave run, you might notice issues with performance, so it might slow down. You might see things where it takes longer to get from one screen to the other. Some of the things you can do on here is close or reset an app, turn it off, turn it on, so you can help not use up all those resources on your device. You know, it'll help conserve battery life. And what I did here was, just as we would create a folder on the actual home screen itself, I clicked on the settings, for example, and I held down on settings. It turns the wiggle feature on so you can move the app around. There is a minus. I don't know if you can see the screen too well. There on the top left corner of this right here, there's the minuses. It acts like on your Windows OS, your Windows 7 or XP, whatever you use here. It's like the X when you close the program. Hit the minus on the app and it gets rid of it. So it takes that program and turns it off. Conserves battery life. It speeds up the machine. It basically helps you get to what, if you want another program, it just kind of keeps your machine maintained and cleaned. Well, that's one of the main things that will help conserve battery life is if you have a lot of apps running. If you do enable 3G or 4G and you send messages like this, you send like iMessages, if you get rid of those messages, if you turn these programs off, you'll see better performance. So I'm hitting the home button to go back to the main screen again. So in essence, what I say here on the agenda, closing and resetting an app, that's just as simple as going to, I'm using a gesture, going to the multitask bar and closing a program or closing an app and turning it off. So here I'm going to shut them all off. Another way, a little quick tap feature is on the home button. If you I think it's John. I think it's the iOS 4 or iOS 5 and up. You double click the home button.
6 right now.
But anyway, on your iPads you have that were purchased, you double click the home button. It brings up the multitask menu as well. So you have double click for that, and you have the gesture that brings it up. Spotlight search is just basically if you have an app, let's say I want to search for iTunes, but you can get a very large amount of apps. You can have them all over the screen. You can have 4 or 5 pages in here, and you can't find it. Maybe it's just easier for you to search for it. You can come over here, and I can click on this and just do iTunes, and it shows up. I start typing it in at the top. search iPad, iTunes. The first program that shows up, iTunes. I hit it, and there's the app. So I'm going to return to the main page with a gesture, the 5-finger gesture, and we're back to the home page again. And I'll let Corey do the settings. And go ahead, Corey.
All right, so the first one we're going to go over is connecting to Wi-Fi. If we go into the settings tab, you have a lot of different things on the side that you can actually scroll through and do settings for. But we're going to pick Wi-Fi. And you can see right now that I'm connected to City Hall 2.4. So if I didn't really want to be connected to this, I would click on it, click the little arrow, and I click forget this network. So if you ever connect to a network and you know you're not going to need to use it again, you can tell it to forget it. That way it's just not on there, and it won't connect to it automatically in the future. So to connect to a network, when you go into Wi-Fi, it'll automatically start scanning for networks, and then you pick the one with the name. Or if it is a network that does not broadcast its name, then you would click Other, and you would actually type that in, and then choose the kind of security it has. But we're going to choose City Hall 2.4, and then you have the password.
Yeah, I think I remember what it is.
So once you enter the password, it should connect just fine. One of the best things about iOS devices or even Android devices, they tend to just connect to wireless networks. You usually don't have too big of a hassle getting on them. Usually just detects it right away, and then you can jump right on it. So next is Notification Center and Alerts. Notification Center, if you position your finger at the top and then swipe down, this little thing will come up, and then you can,
There's new note, yeah.
since there's no new notifications, you can't drag it down any further. But if it actually had notifications, you would be able to drag it down and be able to read the notifications and click on them, and it would take you directly to the app where the notification is located. Do Not Disturb is a really great feature. If you're in a meeting or something and you don't want any sounds coming from it, if you go to Settings, and then you go to Do Not Disturb over here on the side, it has a switch that you can either drag to the right to turn it on or drag to the left to turn it off. So if it's just momentarily that you need it on, you just drag the switch and turn it on, but you want to make sure that you don't forget to turn it off when you're done with your meeting. The other option you have, if you want it to be silent at nighttime or any other time during the day on a regular basis, if you go into Notifications and then Do Not Disturb, you can actually schedule the time that you want it to be. So from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. you just swipe and you can change the numbers. And allow calls from, right now it's set to no one, but you can set it to favorites, and then you can add certain contacts to your favorites list. That way, if a certain person calls you and it's somebody important that you need to take a call from, it'll still come through, it'll still ring just like it normally would. Repeated calls. So we see a second FaceTime call from the same person within 3 minutes will not be silenced, is what it says. So that also works if it was on an iPhone, the same thing would happen with regular calls. General settings.
There's a lot in this
Yes,
under general. Your general settings is basically located where if you have any iOS updates, under software update, this actually has one pending right now, so you can see by hitting the Install Now button, it would download that iOS 6.1.3. Go back there. There are just a lot in here. I think in essence, to save a little time, I don't know if there will be any need or anything to set up VPN connections or not, but you can set some settings there in Siri. And Siri is kind of a neat tool when you get to know how to interact with it's like a voice command type system. Does everybody here pretty well know what Siri is, like at this point?
You won't talk to that.
So usually there's not much that you'll ever really have to change under the general settings, other than like your VPN settings, or if you wanted to turn the auto lock, if you didn't want it to take as long to lock, or you wanted it to take more time to lock, you could change that. And passcode lock, that would make your iPad a little more secure. And then the iPad cover lock unlock, that just does, like these covers have the it's a magnet that makes it go to sleep. If that were to activate it, then that would lock it or unlock it. Now, like I said, in the settings menu, you have a lot of different things you can actually change settings for. So application settings, anytime that you're looking for kind of like general settings for the application, if you come into the settings app, they'll be listed over here on the side as well. Like you can do different settings for the Apple iTunes and app stores, music, videos, and each app that you download should show up in this menu on the side. But also, each app has its own individual settings inside the app. So if you can't find it here, it might be inside the app. If you can't find it inside the app, it might be here.
Okay. How's everybody doing so far? Any questions along the way?
There in the settings, is there any way to delete those apps from that screen there? Like where you're on videos there, say you were up on a app, can you delete from there?
If you have an application, if you can see on the left-hand side, you see there on our screen we have Adobe Reader. The more apps that you have control over in the settings menu, they'll show up down below Adobe Reader on the left. And that's the core settings of the iPad. Really, they don't let you mess with. You can't necessarily remove them. But let's say you have unwanted apps on the left. The fewer apps you have, the fewer options you have to choose from. Does that pretty well answer that? So everything above here, let's say from photos and camera up to the top, they're going to show under the settings menu each time you go into the settings menu. But when you look at the home, these are basically the core apps on the home screen that you'll use every day. Any additional apps would show up to the right side. This Adobe Reader is an additional app. I could remove it if I wanted to, but I won't. Any more questions though? Okay. Well, the next thing on the agenda is Safari, and Safari is like your Internet Explorer on your computer at your desk. So you're going to use Safari to browse the internet. So as long as we have a Wi-Fi connection, as long as we have a good 3G or 4G connection over your cell carrier network, you can use Safari to get out to the internet and view stuff. So I just opened up Safari by going to the home screen, and on the bottom I hit Safari. Ours is on the left. Here I was viewing the iPad user guide before, so what I'm going to do is go up here and we'll search for a site. So on the top, just like an Internet Explorer, on the top of the Safari window you have the ability to type in a web address. So I'll just go here. I don't know what's our address here, John? Web address for the city.
Lawrenceburg-in.com.
So Lawrenceburg-in.com. I hit go, and here's our site for the city of Lawrenceburg. And just as Just before, the gesture to move the page on this is a one-finger swipe up and down to read the content of the web page. If there's a link on the page, just like if you're at your desk, there's this, on this page we've got home, about, administration, departments. I'll just hit departments.
We'll cover the pinch zoom.
I'm sorry?
Cover zoom.
Zoom, yeah, sure. So
That
back
top
here
bar is
home.
a good example.
This is hard to see, right? So what John was just talking about was a zoom. A gesture for zoom is a two-finger gesture, or you actually, I'm starting in the center of the pad and swiping outward. I'm zooming in the feature. Say I want to zoom in and see this sign better. We just drag it out to zoom it. You can double tap it to take you back out and zoom in and out too. Zoom in, two-finger gesture in, zoom out, two-finger gesture to zoom out. Okay, so again, there are links on here. You can view this page just like you could using, you're going to explore at your desk. I hit departments. We can check out the fire department, the police department page, utility, just as if you're at your desk. The share button is basically if you find something out there on the page that you like that maybe you want to take and you want to share it to a friend, you can email it, you can send it as a message. Hit the share button. If you have a Twitter account or message or mail attached to your device that you're using, I think you're all will probably get your own email addresses. You'll be able to send this out as a mail message, a regular text or regular message, iMessage, or you can send it to Facebook. Copy it, you can bookmark it, add it to a reading list if you want to, and check it out later. But if you wanted to mail it, you just put it in there. We don't have a mail account set up right now on this one. But the share button's up here on the top left next to your URL bar, your text bar. And then of course inside that is also your bookmark option, so you can take a look right next to it, the little book that's open. You can take a look at any of the web pages you had seen prior to. I think one of the important things in this is to check out the iPad user guide. It's a page that talks. It's an electronic document. You can go ahead and check out any way of controlling your iPad by literally clicking point. It'll tell you how to do it. So it'll tell you a lot more about Siri by clicking that. Talks about Siri at the top. You can do, you know, how to's, what is, kind of a reading on this. I guess the next most important thing here would be mail. And I think, and John, I always ask you on this. I seem to forget, but they'll probably be getting their own mail accounts on, or they have their own mail accounts on.
Email address is set up.
Okay, through Gmail. So I'm hitting the mail icon, and it'll be a Gmail account. When you get assigned, if you haven't been assigned your iPad already, you can put in the account information for your mail account for the city.
Put that IV Tech in if you want.
Okay. So I'll just put Ivy Tech email in, and he assigned us Ivy Tech at Orangeburg.com, and our passcode for it, I think that's, I don't know if it's a capital or not, we'll try it. And you can give a description if you want. I'll leave it as Gmail, but you can rewrite this. Actually, I'll put city in. I'll hit next. And what it's doing right now, it's going out and checking Gmail's mail system to make sure these account credentials or the email and the password is right. It'll tell me if it's right or not. It always does. But that was a capital or lowercase. And your mail's important to set up too, because you'll have your calendars can sync to the iPad, so you can real quickly and easily set reminders. You might have a meeting tomorrow at 10 o'clock at today, the meeting with your iPad turning today. I set it on my calendar at work, and it's let me know. I said I wanted to know 2 hours ahead of time, give me an alert on this so I don't forget, for example. It will post a message 2 hours ahead of time. Right up on your iPad, it would say, here's your alert message, here's what you put in the description for that. So I think this is also what I'm doing here, if sometimes you won't have a zoom feature. So I'm clicking in a text field, and I'm holding my finger down on the text field that I want to place the cursor. It pops that little magnifying glass above it. It's putting it right on top of my hand where I can see it. So I want to replace the first character and just make it a lowercase I. Well, it did get rid of the whole thing. Alright, well. If you're in a text editor and you held that down, it would replace the one character, like if you're using Word or Excel or Access or something like that. I'm hitting next again. We'll test that.
It returned.
Hit return. It's locked right now. Okay, so it just verified it. It put check marks down each row, each text row. So it's a mail account. I'll leave the calendars turned on. You can turn notes on and off if you want. I'm going to leave it off.
Well, and if we've got a user with an iPad and an iPhone, you can sync your notes between both devices if you turn that on.
Okay. And again, I'll hit on the top right corner of that, I'll hit save. So it saves the account. It's adding the email account right now. So when it set the mail account up, it brought the email editor up. You can type a message in to send it to someone. You can carbon copy, blind carbon copy. Set your subject, and this is just like using your desk computer here. So it's synced all the mail that I had. So ask me if I want to. I'm going to go ahead and delete the draft right now. In your mail client, on the left side by default, your new messages will show with those blue dots on the left. Those are the new messages. Those are the unread messages you haven't opened up yet. Everybody, have you used the email service on the iPads yet? This is all new. Is it? Okay. So I'll open up this one here. But this mail client works just like, go ahead.
What this is for every time I've uploaded an old council packet, I can tell it to send an alert out, and it pops up for the different board members. There's a group for council, there's a group for board of works, there's a group for everyone.
Okay. It's still loading it, but inside of here, John, is there anything, any high points you want to hit?
Just how to delete them.
How to delete them? Okay. See if it'll. So, there's another feature. It's a swipe feature you can use. This says archive.
In Google, it's archive.
Okay. There's two ways you can do it. On the top of the screen, I'm just going to show it because it's easier showing on TV. The top of the screen right here, this is kind of your delete button, your archive button. But also, as you swipe left on the screen or swipe right, as long as you swipe correctly, you'll get the archive button right on the actual email you want to get rid of. You can tap archive there and it goes away.
Go to the top and push edit and check as many of them as you like.
Yes. And then archive, if you want to archive multiple ones, you check the ones you want. Archive.
It goes to an archive folder.
it leaves your active mailbox and goes to somewhere, just another part of your mail system.
If you back out, you can find your archive folder and then empty that if you wish.
Okay. Where Gmail stuff? Yeah. So top left of the screen, there is a mailboxes button.
All mail.
All mail. Okay. And then under all mail, you use the same gesture where you can swipe left, then you can hit delete. Or at top again, you can hit edit if you have multiple ones you want to remove. Do that.
You can always find your email again. Google tries to save everything.
We'll delete it.
It was a little technical bug.
Little.
Other than that, there's some more things you can do. You can set your signature on your iPad. Like when you send a message and you send a new message, right now the default one says sent from my iPad. You can put your name in there. You can put your role with the city. You can leave it blank. But by default, it's called sent from, or it's the actual description is going to say sent from my iPad. And you can go in there and actually edit that if you wanted to. In calendar, let's see. Usually the easiest thing I find with the calendar is at the home screen. Right now it tells you today, Tuesday 26. You click on that icon. If you had something that was saved for today, if you had something that a few days ago that you set for today, you can actually add that in. I'll just call it test. You can give it a location. And by clicking on the calendar, you can say what day you want to send it. You can leave it for today. You can leave it at 11 a.m. What I'll do is I'll say 11 a.m. I'm going to go down here and hit done. I'm not going to set a repeat. You can set invitees if you want. If you want another person in your department to join the meeting with you, you can go into invitees and find that person if they're in your contacts list.
That's where I set the different groups up. If I add council at lawrenceburg-ion.com, it adds all council members to that group.
So yeah, you'll have names populated in there. What I wanted to do was set an alert time. Which alert? So this is how many minutes, hours, days ahead of time that you want the iPad to tell you when your meeting is going to be held. So since it's 10:41 right now, I'll just say 30 minutes. I'll hit done again. It adds it and it posts it.
It'll then be mirrored on your iPhone, set to the same account. Go online and update, check, remove.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Pick a different day. If you want to take a look at test, hit test. I'm viewing this in a monthly view. You can view this in a day, a week, a year, or you can just view it in a whole list. Might be just easier to see it better. I might just hit week. Then it puts it Saturday through or Sunday through Saturday. You can even pick day at top if you want to. You can even drill down to the hour of the day that you want to see it. That's going to be dependent on what you're viewing, how you want to view this. Go ahead.
I want to add something there on the calendar. Since you guys are using Gmail for your email, Google does have a calendar, and if that's enabled, I don't know if it is or not.
That's what we just went through.
Okay. So using Google Calendar, you can actually go to calendar.google.com on your desktop and set up alerts there. You'll have a few more options, like if you're forgetful or if you're busy and you tend to forget things because you're busy, you can actually set up alerts to remind you multiple times ahead of time. And you can also set it to send you a text message to your cell phone. So Google Calendar and the iCalendar there's a lot of different things you can do between the two of them. We're going to go over contacts. So, and that's this button, which now going. So if we click on contacts, you can see that we have the test city and John. So you can go through, if you have a lot of contacts, you know, you can click the letters here on the side and it'll take you to that specific letter. And you can set in settings whether this is sorted by first name or by last name. Sometimes it gets a little confusing. So if we want to add a contact, there's a plus down here in the bottom, well, at the bottom in the middle of the screen. We click that plus button and we're going to enter their first name, last name, company if they have one, phone number, or email. So if you're going to use iMessage using emails, you'd want to set an email here in the email field. And you of course can change ringtone, text tone. Okay. Now if you want to delete a contact, you have to click on the actual contact, and then you're going to click edit. And if you scroll down all the way to the bottom, you'll click delete contact, and that contact will go away. And it'll ask you if you want to delete. You just click delete, and there you go. So the favorites feature that I was talking about for do not disturb, if you want the person to be able to message you when you're in do not disturb mode, you can do that through contacts. You see where it says add to favorites. So we can add John to favorites, and he'll be one of your favorite contacts. Now, from the contact screen, you can also send a message, which is through the Messages app, so be using iMessage. And you can FaceTime. We're going to go over FaceTime here in a little bit. And you can share the contact. If somebody needs to know how to get a hold of somebody, but they don't have their email or phone number, then you can click share contact and you can send that to them. So the next thing is messages. We want to add your personal email to messages. So to do that, we're going to go in settings and we're going to click on messages.
I've usually only used message, like if you have a 3G account with it. You can send messages to other Apple devices using iMessage. I don't know, John, even if you're going to utilize the messages that much here.
Don't believe so.
Because you'll probably utilize more email versus.
Yeah, we have to set up their individual email for this too.
The messages is just what comes with the iPad. You know, some iPads have 3G and 4G set up, so you can register a phone account to it, just like your cell phone, and you can text back and forth, things like that. But we just wanted to hit that because it's on there if there's ever a question someday.
So to message somebody from your contacts in messages, though, if you go to new message, which since there are no messages, it just pops up. So you click in the to field, and then you start typing their name. So we're going to message John, if I can spell his name right. And you just click it, and it'll put it in there the way it's supposed to. And you notice that his icon right now is blue. That is because he set it for iMessage. If it was going to be a regular text message, it would be a green icon instead. And then you can just type your message to him, and then you would hit send. And to delete a message or to delete a whole conversation between you and somebody else, it's the same thing. You would swipe on the contact's name and then hit delete. So FaceTime, we want to FaceTime. There is the FaceTime app. You can just click it, or again, you can go into contacts and click the FaceTime button there.
So we'll actually do this for you because we tested this before. I put a test city in there, which is actually my phone number. I just told it my mobile number, and I'm going to hit the FaceTime button right here. So this will work from iPad to iPad, from iPad to iPhone. This is an iPhone 4S, and it's basically generating a call right now to me. I'm just going to swipe to answer the call, and the iPad's connecting it to now. I'm going to mute this. Walk away from it. You can have one person on one side of the city and somebody on the other side of the city. You can show them a problem. Hey.
You can do
Now we're just going to
event center walkthroughs with this.
pan through the room. So John's thought of a lot of ideas you can use this feature.
And with this, if you see this button down here on the bottom, it's the one to the far right. That's going to switch you to the camera on the back of the phone, and that's going to be a higher quality picture than what you're getting from the front camera. So if I
even a difference in brightness, you can. Anything else, John, you want to hit on this FaceTime?
About it.
And I just found out when I muted my side, it stopped the feedback, the feedback on that before. So far along, any questions that you guys have? Okay. Well, reminders are kind of repetitive, I think, in a way, because you're going to sync your mail account, your Gmail account to your iPad. You can use Calendar to see your reminders. But in case you want to just save a reminder to this machine, like a little task like a task menu, maybe you have something on a specific day, something you have to go out and do maintenance if you guys are in the water department or something. You got to go check hydrants. And you got to check X amount of hydrants, so you just want to remind yourself to do that, and you don't want to use your Gmail account. You can put reminders in. So there's some in here. Go to Walgreens, go to Kroger, check the water bill, and remove me. So if you wanted to add a reminder, just simply click in there and then hit the, it's real hard to see, but I think if you're in there, it's the plus, top right hand side of the actual reminder itself. It's right here. You can add them in as needed. Since there's already a couple here, I won't. I hit done, which is right next to plus. I want to remove one. I hit the remove me. Or I check the remove me, the box, the check box to the left of it. I hit edit. I'm sorry, you just have to hit edit. I apologize. Hit the minus sign. Hit the delete, and it's gone. You're still in edit mode, hence the reason why you have the rest of the minuses there. I'm hitting the done, top right hand corner. Takes you back to the regular viewing screen. You can choose your check boxes. Really, the check boxes are for, hey, I completed that task. That's all that's for. Any questions with reminders? Pretty straightforward. I don't think it'll sync your mail reminders to this. I think it's separate.
It is separate list.
I did say search. I mean, search is pretty easy. You kind of use some of that. There's a search bar right up here on the left, top left hand. If you have a lot of reminders, you can type in something that
Wouldn't go
Work?
at that time. Gotta get rough with mine.
Throw it, right? All right.
Question.
Yeah.
Can you attach a reminder to a date?
Calendar you can. And you can.
Only from the
You can-
calendar back?
You can assign a date to your reminder to have it pop up and remind you.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In the reminder.
In reminders.
So that process is, you pick a date and then write the note to it?
Doing your
or you
reminders.
Create the note first?
You'll set your reminder. And push that mark next to it. Plus.
So what he's doing, when you're in reminders, and the thought process is
Okay.
behind this is you pick the day that you want. Right now, I want to save one for Thursday. It's there, and I added it.
So I can just go.
You can jump forward months by hitting the arrows left and right. You know, right now it's looking at March because it's March 26th right now. You can jump ahead to April,
So that could,
even into
that would
years in
pop
the
up on
future.
calendar.
Up on the screen. I don't know if it's on the calendar.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, all right.
It won't come up, it won't come on your calendar.
I don't believe.
Do all.
It hasn't for me anyway.
It'll come up on your notification to remind you, but it may not be on your calendar itself.
I would suggest, my suggestion is probably to use the Google Calendar. Because that way you've got all your groups in there.
I've got mine set to email me,
Yeah.
or my reminders come up.
Notifications come.
Yeah. So it'll hit whatever device I'm on, my desktop, my iPad, or my phone.
Kind of apps you been downloading.
And then Notes is something we were talking about before, and Notes is on the main app page. And you can sync Notes. So, you know, you can sync so I have one note on the left, I called it test. I want to do another one. I hit the plus sign. This is like if you have a legal pad. The plus sign's the top right hand side of the legal pad. It created another new note right above test. Test 2. I'll name it. Hit the plus sign again. Another one shows up. You want to get rid of one. Just as you were in messaging, just as you were in email, you use the swipe feature and you delete it. You can share a note. Again, the universal share button in Apple, the bottom of the legal pad. You can send it by mail, send it as a message. You can print it if you have a printer driver associated to the machine, and you can copy it somewhere else.
There is a printer in this building that'll has the AirPrint feature.
Okay, awesome.
How you get that, if you do the second page on the notes, how do you swipe it? Mine's not doing anything. Say you swipe it. So I did one and I did the second page of notes, it's not.
AirPrint.
Where is it? Right here where it says notes, you have to hit
Clerk's
left.
office.
Okay.
It's
It's
gonna say,
orientated
send it
vertically,
where, no,
not
where is it?
orientated horizontally. I think if you do this, it'll show
Connie's
you.
got one.
Connie's got one.
Connie's got one?
It has to
Okay,
be on
now
the
I can,
wireless, though, instead of
okay,
being
then I
associated
can
with
delete it.
No, wireless
whichever
is
one I
right
want
back
to.
here
Yeah, absolutely.
for council. We have to have a second one upstairs.
That's where you would hit notes and then swipe left.
Swipe left.
Can we don't make these the hot boxes?
It'd be swiping left, right on that.
That's
Like
what
you're
you're
looking
looking
for.
for.
Oh.
Top of it.
Got
There
you.
go.
Okay, cool.
Spot or box?
Spot. Hotspot refers
Does it
to
matter which way you have
to a
it?
wireless access.
Some applications it does, some applications it doesn't.
Nope, nope. Actually, what we were messing with before, we were actually setting the lock. Like this iPad is set where if I change orientation, I can use this lock button over here to lock it one way, no matter what way I spin it.
Oh,
Find it.
that's what that lock button's for, to lock it.
Yeah.
Screen you want, okay.
John just configured this before where I locked it like this, I turn it, it doesn't change. Pop this out in there.
Is it this button over here, this top one, is that what that is?
It's like a little dip switch. It's, if
got
you're
it.
looking at it, the home
Crap
button's
on
on the bottom right, it's on the top right hand corner over here.
Maybe it's just what this.
We have to go into settings to change that, though. It starts out as the mute button.
Oh,
We go to settings and general.
But the other way you get to the lock feature, if you double tap your home button or if you use the 4-finger gesture up, and then you scroll over to the right, well, it's backwards on
It's
this.
changed.
But
Well-
this little speaker button on this one would actually be your lock orientation button on your iPad the way it's set up, unless you've changed it to where this is the lock button.
Say that again, Matt. You lost me on that.
Go ahead. The lock feature?
Yeah.
So the whole idea behind the lock feature is right now, like if you take your iPad and you move it up, it changes your orientation to the screen, right?
Right.
Well, if you don't want that, let's say you're doing a presentation or something where you don't want that, you want it to lock like that.
I have that problem.
Well,
Gets dizzy.
On this one, I'm just flipping the switch on it to lock it, which it'll give you that icon on the screen. It'll say lock or unlock.
What switch you saying?
There's a small, very, very small flip
under your-
switch
Right.
on it,
Yep.
cover.
but that by default is not set up that way.
Here
But-
is set to lock rotation from right here. We can change it if you wish. So that little switch.
Not this big button here, is it?
Locks your-
It's,
Because I got this damn cover, I can't tell.
You
if
might
I
be
know.
you might have it covered.
He put this in on, I would've.
But when I
What's
do
this,
that,
mute in it? That's your volume up and
That's your
down.
volume up and down. It should be down here. Covered. See, although yours is set up a little different.
Mhm.
Set to lock.
So what you would do on yours, you'd hit your home button
What's
twice,
this,
or
everything?
you use the gesture up.
Mhm.
Okay, that's
Volume
the
of
same
what?
as hitting the home button twice. And
Yeah.
you always scroll to the right, bringing the volume control up, which that is the same thing right here.
Can
As
access
you're
that.
locking the orientation that way, when I turn it, it doesn't
Yeah.
change.
So whichever way I have it, it'll,
Yes, whatever way you have it, if you want to lock it that way,
okay.
hit that, it doesn't change. I find that being
Yeah, no
pretty
speed
easy.
date
That's the
change.
default setting.
you know you can.
You have to access your
It'll remember what
Now
day
with this,
you
if I want to do a
wrote the note.
PowerPoint, I can do a PowerPoint off this
Out.
versus a laptop, correct? I can do all that
You
stuff.
can
Yeah,
attach
it
that
can open
calendar
up in an
down.
editor, and just a reader
Calendar
view of it.
Mhm.
You can see a little white dongle right
Yep.
there. You'll have to get one of those and then put it into a projector. At the lock.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do.
Or a TV or whatever you want to run it through.
Yeah, you can put it right into a TV and anything that can accept whatever video connection you're putting into it, a VGA or DVI or HDMI or whatever.
They
you
all
use.
standard or are they all different? Depends on what.
There's like three most common, which
Four.
is the VGA, the DVI, or the HDMI.
What?
Because the iPads, they only make these little dongles for
This is-
those
if
three
you've got-
versions.
Gotcha.
Music, if there's
And they're
music in
honestly
it,
like anywhere from
if there's
$15 to
anything on this,
$35
music,
depending on what you're getting.
brightness, volume,
I don't know what John bought these for, but my guess, you're right around $25. My
I'll
guess.
do some,
Lock it. Oh,
you
so
know,
it doesn't
instruction
rotate.
stuff. Sometimes they're on TV, making sure if I could do, because I don't have a
Just another
laptop,
button.
it'd be nice if I could put a,
Yes.
you know, zip drive one down on or whatever.
I would recommend, if you want to buy one of these dongles, look on Amazon,
Right, yeah, like,
because
yeah.
you get them really cheap.
Amazon's your
compared to-
friend.
And buy the used ones, and they're still brand new.
Yeah.
It's usually a crush box, which you'll say $3.
$3, man.
So how you guys doing? Are you kind of lost yet, or is there anything I can go over again, or?
I think it's more just playing with it, I think.
Yeah,
What's
it
gonna
is
be.
just using it. So you can take pictures and stuff like this. There's a camera app right here on the main screen. That's real beneficial. I mean, I'm always using
It's 5 fingers.
the camera option to take pictures of something. To instead of writing or jotting down a note, I can just take a picture of it. If it's like a MAC address on the computer or something like that, I can just take a snapshot of the screen and take it back.
I knuckled that baby up to nothing.
Save it. So in the camera app, you have the option of taking pictures or rolling video. So you can take video or take pictures. And I got this
I'm in this.
22-year-old.
Fred Flintstone with an iPad. What? That's just like Fred Flintstone with an iPad.
This thing's supposed to be waterproof or something, why it's got all this crap on it.
It probably keeps a lot of dust and stuff out. Some of them keep, like, it'll be rain resistant, but there's really nothing I found that's 100% waterproof.
Yeah, I wasn't sure why he gave it to me because I break everything.
Yeah, I got tired of mine, I cut mine off.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I have a little cheap cover for my phone, so I just have one covering the outside. As long as it covers the lens, because you want to have it above the lens.
Right.
But the only thing I'm doing here to change it from the camera mode to the video mode is on our TVs. It's the bottom right hand corner. It's a little lever switch back and forth. I have it on video right now. If you can see it, there's a record button on the right side. I just tap record. It's recording right now. It's recording audio, it's recording video right now. It's picking up the mic on the iPad using the camera right now. I oriented the camera to the front camera looking at the ceiling because the back, it's all dark, it's facing the back side. And your camera quality is going to be better on the back side of your iPad than the front. So hit that and turn that off. If you want to take a picture, I swipe that back to the left and I hit the picture option and it snaps a picture. If you follow that where it went, when it snapped the picture, it drug the picture down to the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. That's your camera roll. So you're previewing right now the picture and the video that you have on the iPad. This is the picture, and I'm swiping to the left now, or I'm swiping to the right, going to view the preview to the left. You can have a, I think that's trying to use the Apple TV, isn't it?
It's recording right now. It's recording audio, it's recording video
So
right now.
the video's up here, the audio's right here.
Picking up the mic on the
We have the
iPad.
TV connected to it, so it would show on the iPad when this is disconnected, but on yours it would show right there if you have just the mobile device with you.
And your camera quality is going to be better on the back side of your iPad than the front.
Any questions with video and pictures right now? Okay. You do Siri and oh, you got one.
So, Siri, she can be kind of temperamental. She can be kind of fun to play with too. If you don't, can't really think of too many uses other than telling her to take you somewhere. So basically, say you want to go to Wendy's down here in Lawrenceburg and you don't know how to get there. If you press and hold your home button, that's going to make Siri come up, which she recognizes right now that I'm talking, and that's recognized by the mic lighting up. So now once I stop talking, she's going to tell me that she doesn't know what I'm saying because I've been talking for too long.
Didn't quite get that.
Exactly. I did not get that.
Understand for a while.
Sorry, I can't do that. You're not listening to the music app.
So I'm going to tell her, take me to Wendy's. Take me to Wendy's, Lawrenceburg, Indiana.
I found 15 restaurants matching Wendy's. Tap the one you want directions to.
So we want the one on Eats Parkway,
Getting directions to Wendy's.
and then she will get directions and it'll automatically open up in the Maps app. And you see right here, since this is the first time the Maps app has been opened, it says Maps would like to use your current location. Okay or don't allow. Since it's the Maps app, you would want to click OK. Other apps, you know, use your own discretion whether you want them to have your location or not. And then of course you get your safety warning. And she's showing you your route, and you actually have two different routes. So you can pick either one. And you click the start button and she'll navigate you there.
So
just
this
like
will give
it's
you
a-
like a GPS system.
Yes.
So if I'm in a fire truck, don't know if I'm going, say, Moore's Hill somewhere, I can just punch this in. Say, take me to
Yeah.
220 Main Street. Boom.
Yes, but
It'll get you to Main Street really well because it's actually still using the Google engine.
Right.
Its background and using some parts of Google. And we investigated this at Sunman too. And it more or less will put you on the street right, but it might not pick the right place on the street. You have an east and a west road.
But it'll get you.
It'll get you close. It'll get you. I think if it's it's a fire call, you're gonna get you to the street, and maybe you'll see the rest of the engines that are there.
I know Chief's got this on at Adobe on the for inspections.
Yeah.
And he has a Siri. Like he showed me that yesterday where he hit on it and he said, like we did advanced. He said advanced auto parts. It already typed it in for us.
Yeah.
And then the address and type, so I didn't have to type it in. It just printed it for us.
Puts it in for you.
Yeah, it made it a lot easier to do that instead of sitting here hunting and pecking.
Find any ones matching email.
One thing to use Siri for too is you can actually save your appointments.
Directions to 209.
You can just say, you can hold Siri and you can say, Siri, set an appointment
I
for
can't
tomorrow at
send your
11.
message. iMessage
and
is
it'll
turned off or
it'll actually
not
put a
available.
message in there for
Try sending this message again
appointment
when it's
for you.
available.
Oakley in Greendale.
Siri, save an appointment for tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Okay, I set up your appointment for tomorrow.
Doing this, it just says appointment. You can go in, confirm.
Understand that hillbilly.
How he was
Confirm.
talking, not me.
I scheduled your event for 11 a.m. tomorrow.
Just hang up.
And I told it to confirm it.
I can't make
So it put that in for tomorrow. It shows on your calendar.
3:20.
So on your calendar,
So if you want in your calendar, you give you a
What's that
2-hour
again?
reminder if you wanted to.
FaceTime call to 8.
you go in
It just
there.
saves you from typing it in,
3:20.
basically what it does.
Okie Avenue,
Yes,
Greendale,
yeah.
Indiana.
In this, when you save it using Siri, by default, she left a 10-minute warning before it started.
Sorry,
How do you find
I
that,
couldn't
or like
find
where the Wi-Fi is?
320 Okie Avenue,
And it's like, I don't have
Greenville.
Wi-Fi in here, in this room here. I just, my wife set it up for my house, so I've been playing with it all day. I just don't have
320
Wi-Fi in this
Okie
room, but how do
Avenue
you
in
figure out? You
Greendale.
So
have to have somebody that give you a password, correct?
it depends on if
Find any
it's
events with
passport
Greendale
protected or
at
not.
3:20 p.m.
Well, see, I've got one of these air
Shall I
cards right
create
now
it?
in the truck out
What I'm
there.
saying.
Then we're getting one
Oh.
that gives me 300-foot range. So where I'm at,
Okay,
300
then.
foot,
I won't
I can
create
take
the
this within
event.
300 foot on a good day and get it.
So
Run all
Siri.
day.
you would take this and you'd go to this main screen. You'd go under settings.
Hey, we don't have to worry about that iPad.
Under
guy.
settings,
Let me check that.
You got a Wi-Fi?
Here's what I
you would go
found.
to general.
Oh,
Okay.
Whoops, I'm sorry. You go to Wi-Fi. I'm
come
sorry.
up with a market report for Colgate.
And I see where it says City Hall and a couple other ones here, and then once you find it, then you have to put your whatever password they give you.
Yeah, you see a little lock symbol to the right side? That indicates that it's got a passcode protection,
Sure.
some sort of encryption or something on it. So that would be where you'd have to get the passcode. Now, you might have a wireless, a Wi-Fi, what's called an SSID or the name of the network, show up with that not there, and it's open. So you don't have
They
to
go to
put it.
McDonald's or something, it's open,
Yeah.
it's boom, you got
Yeah.
whatever, Starbucks or whatever.
If you go to McDonald's, it'll be open, you hit it. When you go and you want to view something in Safari to go see the web, actually start seeing web pages, it's called a splash portal. The first thing you see when you hit it is going to be McDonald's saying, do you agree to our terms and conditions? Don't do anything wrong, whatever. There's
Right.
going to be an I agree show up and you'll just tap I agree. And
Gotcha.
then it'll let you do whatever you want to do. So.
Okay.
Yeah, we just basically reviewed how to check a Wi-Fi connection. And here's your here's probably one of the biggest apps you'll probably use here. And John did a lot of work to get this set up, and it's really interesting because I haven't heard of Docs2Go before we started talking about this training.
Pretty good.
But on your iPads, there'll be a Docs2Go app on the bottom. It's going to open up, and depending upon who what group you've been put in, and your email account has been set to this, or whatever the Docs2Go is going to use to access the documents out there on the cloud.
You started the update and left.
What update?
Here, for example,
Gotcha.
on the bottom, we have local, desktop, online, recent search, and settings. I'll choose packets because we tested this before.
Never get
And
that.
under packets, here's a meeting packet. It's a PDF from 3/4 of 13. So this is your meeting packet. And starting on page 1, it talks about the agenda. And I think you have some other multiple pages that talk about this too. But this editor, this viewer that comes with Documents to Go, it's very handy. And the thing I wanted to show you was on your iPad, down here in the bottom right-hand corner, it's the multiple page view.
Where'd you get that? Where'd you go under, get down, settings or
It's
we under notes or?
it's Documents to Go. Now I don't know if Documents to Go is set.
I don't think I've got that. I don't have any.
Do it to anyone.
Is that in Docs2Go?
Okay.
You'll have a Documents to Go.
Do you have that?
Development.
Ah,
Oh, you carry that.
okay, icon. Okay.
Yep. Or an app. And I went in there and I drove down and I found this
It's been on.
PDF on there.
Day one, when he got these, he said,
Why you?
So I'm gonna hit the multiple page button.
Mine's up.
It allows you to view all these pages
the
at
problem is,
once.
what happens if?
John?
If there's one that you like to
down,
see,
you lose it or misplace it.
If page 4, Board of Works is what you want to view, I'm just going to tap right on the actual page itself, and it brings it up a little larger where you can read
Answer your
it.
question.
And just like in other pages, you can use the zoom feature. Bring it up to where you can see it better.
Who do you think? Hey, who do you think I am?
On this view, though, if I come down, act like I want to go to the page ahead of it, above it says go to previous page. It'll take you to the previous page above it. I found it easier where if you hit the multiple page button down here, you can read these much easier, scroll through better. It's cleaner to do it that way. There's a lot more to go into this, but this has got this has to be put on your iPads yet.
Mine's uploading something.
But you'll get all kind of info you need. I mean, there's all kind of stuff you can do with this, and John's going to work with you, I'm sure, more on setting each iPad up for what he wants you to be able to see. He can push stuff out to you.
These iPads, you just haven't read through it in very much detail.
Okay. But there's all kind of things you can post in here. Here's like a redistricting doc. John, what's your goal on here that you want everybody to see?
Just how to access it. You gonna go through and try to download one of those?
So I'll go back to packets, and I'll hit I'll hit this guy right here. I hit meeting packet PDF 122 of 13. It's a 1 meg file.
Already got it.
There it is. I was going to hit it, and here's the doc. When you download the doc, actually you can see it's a I think it said 42 page doc.
That'd be right, 42.
Is that 40? Yeah, 1 of 42.
January 22nd meeting packet.
You don't take them
42
off?
pages?
42 pages. No, we don't take them off. There's half of 12 on there. All of 13 so far.
Can we take them off so that, no.
They'll still be in your list.
They're on a cloud.
They're on one document server, and you just access that.
See, technically, it's not on there till you put it on there.
Right.
Your
The ones you-
access.
Hey, which one of you two's giving the class? Grant, you, or John?
It's the ones you choose to download that go on there.
Thank you, John.
Those two.
And then you've downloaded it when it colors it from gray to red. It's like on the TVs you see there's three grays and 2 reds. The 2 red documents are the ones downloaded locally to this machine. And you can go back into recents on the bottom and see what you've recently viewed.
This thing had never been.
You can search if you got a whole lot of documents on here that you want to search for. You can do an active search for it. I think so. We had a meeting. So
Chocolate on it.
there's your meeting packets. Some of those are downloaded, some of them are not.
I'm starving to death.
Just examples.
Oh, so go back here if I can. Oh. Yes, it's saving it locally, but I gotta remember how to do that. Come here. My folders.
I'm talking about where to put these files because
They'll be in that list.
Council
They'll be in your local list.
folders.
in the local list.
Council packets. And then I think we want to.
That's why this ain't downloads. He did one.
Oh.
What?
John, I was going to show how to take one offline, but I don't
How to delete them?
how to save it. How to save one online, pull it to this, and show it offline.
You're just looking at that.
Yeah.
How about file creation?
File creation.
Locals?
This is
And then
this file creation.
Pick what
and
you
where
want.
What's the password for this
He
place?
goes,
For this place?
This building is
Yes.
Elberg 4785.
That's the whole city, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, why put it in the other, why put it in the other day and I don't know why
Mine's
I didn't
never
think
been
of it.
rebooted, that's why he said.
Hell.
Oh, shoot. That might have been the other one.
It's like Fred Flintstone with an iPad.
Fire.
Okay, so they're all the same, all city
Hold
buildings.
on, Marty.
Okay. This one might not
You
have.
watching that Apple?
I thought she hooked it up.
This line right there, got that little pin.
This morning when she showed me. I just brought it home, started messing with it this morning.
What do you mean rebooted?
You guys have other classes over too, computer classes and
Yeah,
stuff
I
like
do.
1 day, so you don't have to take a whole 6-week thing, do you? You can.
They have, yeah, they usually have like some classes that Rusty that was here before, you know Rusty, he usually heads that up where you can
You
take
downloaded
Word,
something.
Excel, Access.
Yeah, he does. He gets more
I watch.
Yeah.
behind the times.
Go back home.
My 7-year-old knows more about
Watch
stuff than
him.
I do.
Now they grew up in it, you know, so they,
Well, my
it's easy to
13-year-old,
get that
when she was
serious.
3, he don't know how to cut paste. What?
But in creating a new document, I just hit this create new document button down below and
Watch. I thought each building had their own, but
Word
I guess
document.
Whole city sets are awesome. Well, yeah, it's
Like
standardized.
rebooting the computer, resets it. Something's running it.
yeah, when they actually got when they got Docs to Go, they actually have an editor in here. You can type stuff on here and save it from this. That's pretty neat. And then I want to save it. Returns. Save as file name.
We have an iTunes account for city.
I used iTunes, I don't even know what's that do, it's just,
So it shows up.
just music in iTunes, that's all, isn't it?
It shows up under documents.
Oh, okay.
For everything you need to do.
I already gave him the battery life, so I think we can just skip to that.
You just
Spent an
downloaded
hour
6, what you did.
Six,
Just go to
what's
battery life.
Something.
Look, I've got Chinese coming up down here.
I'm trying to get the App Store up on this machine here.
What the hell is that? They need to take this thing. Look, what's that say?
I'll get you the right password, but we have this app, this document thing. I think you text edits.
How do you do delete
That's
the
good.
App
Okay.
Store?
Well, I mean, you can open Excel files.
Yeah, well, that's what I was
Oh, really?
asking
You
him,
downloaded,
because I've
what?
created so many documents working back and forth.
iOS 6.
What's that?
Upgrade.
Yeah, well, you
Office
know
and
what? I
home.
need top of the line shit.
And now
on
it's
mine.
time that I need to start dropping these into
I
files.
think my screen's locked up, look, it's not turning.
Yeah.
Kill it.
You know, I'm trying to figure out how to drop it into files.
Someone's gonna get me a list of usernames.
So you say you're gonna skip app and go to maintenance?
Gotcha.
Locked on
I think
Twitch.
I'll show
Official,
you
yeah,
guys.
instead everybody's got their own crap, just have it all.
I don't remember my notes.
Yeah. Sure. Sure.
It's really,
Hang in there.
really not, unless somebody goes out looking for
Why is that
something
not?
that benefits them.
Yeah,
I didn't touch that.
I don't know.
all that crap, yeah, sure.
Probably gonna look at getting you different Apple IDs. You have one, you download on one.
Yeah, I had to get some a little more shit on here. I didn't have enough stuff.
You know what he downloaded? Was that
I
iOS
got a
6.
question.
What is
I
it?
saw
How'd you do the
What is
split
it?
keyboard?
What's that?
It was the update.
See?
I told you that.
I need
Here.
it.
That was under notes. So
How'd you get there? You got me talking now.
Fine,
Okay.
All right, where were docs to go?
200 Old Orchard
And
Drive.
where you're gonna go, you're gonna start with this online button.
Mhm.
Online. Your name, hit your folders.
Oh, right there. Council, right?
Council.
And so
You go
we'll,
packets,
I never even knew that packet one was on
and
there.
then 0304.
Siri, take me to
I can get to that.
2200
The one that goes
Old
out
Orchard.
this Friday.
Yeah,
It'll pop up there whenever it gets scanned into me.
good.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was even on there, packets.
That's what I was trying to get to you. You know, the girls next door. If they do the minutes,
Yeah, I noticed that when you did it up
they
there.
dump in a
It
special
just,
folder on their computer. They'll go straight to this thing. Let me set it up.
They ain't gonna let you in there.
Touch that thing. You know that.
So
now.
how do I get in there?
Docs
Go
to
local?
Hit folders from right where you're at. Oh, Wrong way.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
help me out here.
on him.
Get that.
So this just like when you got the map on here from Siri, it just shows you where you're going. It doesn't give you like as you're moving in a vehicle.
You're hitting a little too high on it. Hit the back button.
Okay.
And packets.
They're just like you were driving.
That'd be awesome because I didn't know where the hell I was going yesterday and freaking West Harrison. We're like trying to figure out. So that's awesome.
Oh, really?
Saying, I know
Here.
she should be able to give even.
Good job on that
button itself. See
What?
where there would be.
Yeah, like you said, like New York, it's so big, you need to know where you're going.
Right.
There we go.
That's awesome.
That button there.
Yeah, because you.
It was
Okay, now how do you?
Oh, I'm sure.
How you switching pages?
I can't do this far right button.
Yeah, I just need to
Either.
take some more class on the computer end of it,
That.
and figure out how all this
Slow.
crap links up.
You do it like
My wife
this.
can do all this stuff. I mean, you know, we go camping
Gotcha.
or whatever.
Then
Let
you
me see your
still
phone.
I don't think there's any zoom on this one.
Really?
And she'll hook stuff up to get you know all set.
Bottom, that's top.
Yeah, you'll have the ones.
My brother-in-law, he's
It's
IT guy
either,
for
Magnifying zoom.
RMC
0304.
out in Brown
Package
County,
63 pages.
up there by Indianapolis. And he goes, you know, your phone, you only use 3% of what it's paid for. I'm like, dude, I just want to take a call and know how to use my calendar and check my email. That's all I do. You're not even using it. That's the potential. I'm like,
Well,
oh yeah,
Going back
you're
and
only
forth
3%
this way,
of that
but
phone. Yeah,
that
I
would
don't
be-
know. Yeah, very.
Save as.
I didn't download it yet.
Okay. Save as
Well,
local.
yeah, I mean, it's, well, and
At least I
hopefully
learned some
So how do I
things out
delete
here.
these bad
you
boys?
guys can.
Like I said, a lot of it's just
Yeah,
messing around with it, you know.
It is.
Control over.
And
Long press on the app.
there's not too much on an iPad
Long
that you
press
can
on
mess
the
up
app.
by just playing with settings.
Right.
So
And download.
Because the true settings has
Office.
probably got you locked out.
But
You
he's
can't
in the
mess it
field.
up too bad.
You can't,
Mario's in
you know,
the
you
field.
can't delete any app that's pertinent to its
To where
Right.
he'll
operation
call me
because it
and
won't let
He's got
you.
it up on the camera.
What's with this thing?
He's,
every
feeding
time
it back
someone
over to
with
me.
kids downloads something.
You know, we got to
Carl.
do something here.
Mine ain't on there, Mario. Look.
Well, I took mine out one day to
Yeah, and they do.
it Temple Run and Bubble,
I got that on
Wreck-It
there.
Ralph.
And I wished I'd known that you downloaded it so I didn't have to.
So before I was local.
It's Pac-Man.
That's what I did. I did.
If you get,
So you
I
have
can't
long
figure out
press.
how, like, if you get mail, how do you
Press
back
on any
out
of
of, if you want to back out of the screen?
X
How do you back,
When I had
go back?
It's God.
Like, I got
What's
this up here
this?
and I'm in
Data work
this where he
Those
showed.
are all
Fruit
free
Ninja's
games.
If I want to back out, is this the arrow of the back?
The
top
Or how do you
four
back?
Are ones I put in.
Click all mail.
Send me Temple Run.
Might be able to put.
Like I
Download
don't
Temple
need
Run.
AutoCAD.
You can't actually, I guess you can't actually get out of the email. You can choose a different email that you want to go to
Okay,
by just clicking on it.
Make
or you
sure
click
FedEx did
mailboxes,
a drop
and
right
that'll take you back to the list of.
back, okay. And then you can pick whatever you're looking for, whether it's Gmail, Yahoo, whatever. Right.
If you want, you know, I don't know.
Let's see. Let's go to Docs to go. Let's
Extra
go to.
multiple email accounts.
Yeah, so I got Yahoo and Gmail on my phone.
So
Picking on my stuff, what's Jeremy?
mailboxes, they would actually show you.
When you can double your price.
Oh, okay.
So you can add
No,
another email
it's
account
No, it's
settings.
when you download software into a piece of equipment, it's compatible. Like a PC, you don't care who it is, but iPad has to have strictly iPad stuff.
Then you would just do
Apple
add
stuff.
account.
See right here. Here's what you should.
Right.
Now, what is that process?
Then you just put-
Why is the
put your
process that?
information in,
It's what's it running? It lets you do all
The
that.
rest of it.
That's what I'm trying to get you. No, it's the
Right there, so you're missing one.
Or by permit.
how you
number.
pull stuff down in Jared. So you're like it's so simple. I'm trying to
That would be
remember it.
the
It's like when you say it's going to
Next
be.
level that we want to talk about.
Because your
is how
software,
how
your
the
computer even
structure
downloads
that- One
to
to
take
just get
apps
the
down into
preliminary out of
it.
the way.
So it don't have to be an, it don't have to be an app to do this. Okay, but
Talking
there's,
about message you, but what you were referring to on this.
it's like
is
a, like you're
fact that
sticking it in a,
text message or,
you know, it's like you're sticking.
but you have to have the phone number and that's set up an account for texting, correct?
The iPad has the ability
This one you're talking about?
to do that, but also in
Or the
messaging.
Yahoo account.
Right.
It's interesting. You can sync more with the Yahoo account than it does the Gmail account.
That's him.
I think Gmail's just so limited, isn't it? Just maybe Yahoo's such a bigger server or not?
I think Gmail has more, but
contacts list. He might even dump them in like if.
I go to,
I've seen all I need.
should be seeing Yahoo on here now, shouldn't I, or not? So I just put that in there.
If you go to mailbox.
Oh, mailbox.
Message to the mayor.
There we go. Okay, great.
Simply go out and
Now, I mean, it'll take.
That way I got both of them like I got on my phone, yeah.
You had yours on.
Mhm.
And I wanted,
And then you can actually,
it's not set up yet.
if you go back into settings and go back to mail calendar and contacts,
How would we get?
it'll actually allow you to set different tones.
Talk
First, I'd
about
learn more about it.
That way,
on Google,
you hear an
Google
email, you know
Calendar and
which
stuff like that.
microphone it's coming.
Sure, so if it's a Gmail or whatever, yeah.
One of my questions was, can notes be date sensitive?
And then this will automatically go off like, that's set for 2 minutes, in 2 minutes it'll shut itself down.
Tie your notes back
If
to
you
the
want to save your
calendar.
battery, it's always good to just go ahead and just hit your lock button there on the top.
Which is this one here, right?
Correct.
that's it, that's the one he was getting at.
I know he got it for all his chiefs, and that way we've got one in our vehicles, and supposed to put all our forms and anything we get up, we can just put all, everything's putting all our
I'm
stuff in there,
doing
so we
well.
can
How are
just,
you?
we see something, whatever, you know, just, it all can be sent to him, and the main one we've got, we already did an inspection, we got
Well, I
our
was trying to
signatures
do
on
some
it, all
research
kinds
when I
of
got
things,
back
we've
with
already
you.
did the
I see
signature
they changed
recognition.
body
He's
styles from
working
12
on
to
it.
13.
I'm behind the times, because the other guy's a hell of a lot younger than me, he knows what's going on with it.
Here, you'll be able to see it.
I didn't know that. Yeah, they're on the back end of it, the side, or
So
whatever it
you
is
can,
there.
eventually, you're doing the same thing, but it just isn't showing through a calendar.
I mean, that's what we had in the house.
You do?
Well,
Tell Rick
we was
how
trying
we're
to,
doing.
yeah, I do.
And, go back
This
over
is the stuff that I
that,
use mine mainly for.
in the email.
I'll go in here.
Tell him I want that just because he had it. It has the navigation and the wheels on it.
I've downloaded this right here.
Let's see.
Is there any way to make the writing bigger?
So-
First,
Basically,
I'd be interested.
it's actually under setting up. Let me search for it real quick.
So if he'd take a cigar out of his mouth, he'd be able to push it.
next thing is,
And then it's gonna be, you have
I go
Exchange.
over here and I do this inspection,
Hang on a second, get
this thing right here.
Are we done, guys?
Siri, take me to.
He's going around answering any questions.
Okay.
Just kind of a
Carl,
one-on-one now.
take any questions that I may have. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
No problem, take care. Okay, right here, signature. You just have to go in, if you don't want it sent from iPad, or you edit it that way. So what I did was,
Indiana.
I want to get out.
from the home screen,
I want to take
I went into
that
settings, then I went into mail,
inspection.
and I went,
Signature.
I'll send
yeah, I
it,
went down the page until I seen signature,
print it,
and then
do
that's the
whatever I
editor
want,
for the
and I
signature.
want it to come back to blank again. That very same form.
All right.
Usually a lot of your
That's
settings
going to
change.
be my rough-in inspections for all
Right.
commercial work.
Multi-modus text.
Oh, actually, I gotta give you guys.
don't know, what do you think about it? What I'm having to do is I'm having to keep
Don't
that
be too
same
hard on me,
form.
I've got an evaluation.
Back and back and back, because I'm.
I learned some things. I still need to get more as far as play with it and stuff like that, so.
Then could I
So
send
what-
that one to myself?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
you could actually. If you do email document, and then you would type your email address in there, which if you save yourself as a contact,
Yeah, let's
then you can
do
just
it that
start.
way. Put me in there as a contact.
Okay, so we're gonna cancel, delete draft.
No problem.
And
Guys just left. I have Mario out for us.
Yep.
Yeah. If you wanna return
Go
that
to
back to us.
contacts.
and if you want one
I can
too, I'll
scan
give
email to you too.
That'll work, I'll give one for you too.
add.
Don't be too hard on me. But this is good informative for us too. What kind of, whole room is, you had in the whole room, so it's neat to know.
Yeah, it's a nice little area.
I'll just put my cell phone on that one,
Okay.
and that'd be 812-532-9888.
John, you're going to.
The next level, what, I mean, what more do we need? Get some
Well, I
We're
think,
talking about documents and the other guy.
Yeah,
like documents to go.
more in depth with that.
His issue with having
Thank you.
having forms to where he can do checkoffs and then be able to.
We're working on that with Fire right now. We've got them set up and running. I mean, his is a specific issue, and
Then we
their
click done.
county building department has the form.
There you're listed.
Okay, now, if we go back to that.
Started on that
that's
when his
my-
iPad first came in.
I'll send that to my email address.
I think
Back to Adobe
that
here.
and then just trying
And
to,
then
because
this
you know,
here,
Mario could use
that's-
that too. Mike could use it for, planning.
that is always your share button. So you click that detail email document.
I think
And
just
just type,
investigating like a Google Calendar and.
you have to click in your two fields, start typing your first name,
Where
which
we
should pop
can,
right up.
all of us can
Click
see, it.
on
Like
it,
I can see Mario's.
You can't see Mario's account, they have to invite you to different things. They
Send.
want you to see.
and then your email pops up.
This,
But
now,
what we need to talk about is.
how do I get back into my?
That's what we have, you have the
form?
invitees. You add your
I have to
invitees to
create
your
a new
list.
form each time when I go out.
All right, sounds good.
That would probably be your easiest.
Yeah, I've got his contact information.
Your easiest way would probably be if we went back.
Or will I have
Then
to sit there
I
and?
wish there would have been a council member or two here.
I got,
I wish there would have been a council member or two here.
unsafe building.
Yeah, Donnie Bryant,
all that.
but I think we can,
That's a blank
Oh,
form.
he's got
Okay.
Donnie's right now.
Busy.
That's a rough end for a commercial project, same thing we just did.
Okay.
Will that come, now, if I send that each time,
Yeah, it was a good one.
how do I go back to where I was just at?
See if we
If
can
you
get some more
tap
people
in
together.
the center of the screen,
Maybe try and do it again.
like you want to make sure you don't hit one of the views. Click recents.
Do shit they're not normally wanting to do, like
That'll
breaking
take you
in.
back to there.
See, it seems like I've lost one, or it moved it up there.
Because you're in the recents.
It just goes to the last one you had, so it goes to the top.
So if you're actually in the documents view, you can actually view all your documents on here.
I tried to create some, a buddy of mine over there, he's got the same iPad, and he's got the same inspections. So, if I want to go to the convention center each day, see, I already created a
He's all
blank,
his threats about sending this
but
stuff up.
each time I have to create a
Hopefully
blank
we are
one to put back in there.
to isolate you down pretty quick.
Or could I have like 100 of them created and put in there that are blank?
In other words, you want a template you can just fill in each time.
Yeah, when I go to that.
That is actually,
Had a quick knockdown on a lot of it was hard to get the hotspots.
I don't know.
I'd like to, you know, instead of going over to the printer and getting a box of them, I'd like to have a box of them in here if possible.
So you have to make up the forms every time?
Or you have to create it.
Why couldn't it be on the cloud and just download
That's what
it?
I'm saying.
That's what he was talking about. I think that's
Well, it was carelessness.
I'm not sure how it works.
Or you just download it?
Let's say you have a
But then
extension
again,
cord
setting up the
running into a
file.
script tag, having like multiple units with extension cords coming out of that.
That's a piece of card went over top of
And all that
it.
stuff, yeah, when you're running
Generates
heaters
more
and heaters and phones or TVs, all that crap, yeah, it's just bad.
That's what I'm looking at to do. I mean, that's how I would
Oh,
use
yeah.
my
And John can do that?
Just overload.
Right.
Because I go out there and film. If I could just come over here and I'd say I got the convention center, I'd be down there all the time. I want to come down there each time, just like we did there.
They weren't supposed to be in there basically that way. The guy had sold
Having
a,
access
the
to.
guy had sold a house in the
Convention
center. and
Bang, 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 I got foot inspection today.
Oh, it looks like
Okay,
that
now
runs on the 16th.
So it's one of them ones that.
It's on the Tuesday.
Send it to myself in the middle. Okay. Then I go,
Request for May.
send it to myself, and I'm done.
Is this
Right
still on?
back
Mom and dad.
to documents.
Is that still recording?
Son and his kid, they had 3 families.
When I hit convention center,
This was just an electrical issue there.
since I didn't fill nothing in on this, it's gonna stay like that. As soon as I use it, it's gonna have